and bad. Everything in nature has two sides, a good and a bad, a positive and a negative. In philosophy, this message goes back thousands of years to the Chinese yin and yang. The yang is the good, the sunny side of the hill, and the yin is the dark side. There is a dualism in everything in the universe. The rain that waters and fertilizes the crops also brings floods. The fire that warms our homes and cooks our meals causes widespread havoc when it's out of control. And have you ever thought about the good and the bad sides of memory? Each of us really has a very short memory. Sure, the subconscious remembers everything, but our conscious minds forget. We forget the bad, and that's good. We forget our failures, our mistakes, our foolishness, the pain we've caused, the opportunities we've missed, the love we've failed to give when it was needed. These things pass from our conscious memory as though from a filter to which they cling for a while and then are cleansed away by time. But we also forget, to our pain, the good, and that's bad. We forget the principles, the systems which, if we will but live by them daily, will result in our achieving the things we want to achieve. We literally forget how to live successfully. If, through some diabolical device, we were constantly reminded of all of our past failures and mistakes, we would live in a state of constant depression, fear, and sorrow, a hell on earth. But instead, our conveniently forgetful minds save us from this. But if, through some wonderful agency, we could be constantly reminded only of the good, of those principles and systems that we know work to our benefit and the benefit of society, we would live in a state of optimism, enthusiasm, and hope. We would go from one success to another. Well, it's a fact that the world's most successful people manage to accomplish this latter state. They manage to arrange their minds so that they constantly remind themselves of what they're doing and where they're going. They know for certain that if they'll just do certain things in a certain way every day, they will be led to the goals towards which they're striving. Most news seems to be bad. Our newspapers and newscasts are not filled with all the good that's going on in the world. That would be kind of silly, I suppose. They report all the news, and the great majority of it seems to be on the negative side. Wars, murders, crime, disasters, accidents, swindles, scandals. Additionally, most people are so constituted or so lacking in the proper education that they too seem to act and talk rather on the negative side, and we're influenced by them. If we live then in accordance with our environment, we'll tend to forget the good and dwell on the bad the majority of the time. This means we will live most of our lives on the dark side of the ancient Chinese hill. What's the solution? It is to find a way to remind ourselves every day, as do the really successful, of those things that lead to success, to the good. Otherwise, we'll forget the good along with the bad. So another good reading. It talks about the law of polarity in the beginning. So wherever there's a good, there's a bad, there's an up, there's a down, there's an in, there's an out. So to think about it, if you think even of the possibility of failure, because of the laws of polarity of the universe, there has to be this side for success, right? So always remember there's an opposite to whatever it is that you're feeling, for whatever it is that you're thinking. I like how he says, how the successful manage to accomplish that state. They manage to arrange their minds so that they constantly remind themselves of what they're doing and where they're going. They know for certain that if they'll just do certain things in a certain way every day, they will be led to the goals towards which they're striving. So I love it because it means that you can do anything that you want, right? But you have to do it in a certain way. It's not the things we do, it's the way we do them that matters. And then lastly, if we live then in accordance with our environment, we'll tend to forget the good and dwell on the bad the majority of the time. This is where we talked about, living from the inside out. Success comes from the inside, not the outside, not tuning into your results and letting your circumstances dictate, to you what you can do, and letting your circumstances dictate your thinking. It's about thinking into results, not results causing your thinking, right? So always remember that it goes from the thinking to the results. So from the living from the inside out, that's how we become successful. That's how we enjoy life, because our circumstances outside our environment can get to us. So hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I will be seeing you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Have an amazing Sunday. Make the best of it. Okay, love you all, guys. Talk to you later. It's Garrett.